Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Last night the second Rogue One trailer was finally released, and oh yeah, it was so good. Unfortunately it was released like 6 AM Swedish time, and I didn't feel like staying up for that long. In this video I wanted to give a bit of a different take on the trailer, because if you're looking for a standard analysis video, there are already tons of those out there, and in this video I wanted to analyze the trailer from a Battlefront perspective, because as you know, the last DLC will be Rogue One Scarif, and the new trailer does give us quite a lot of hints on what types of weapons, gameplay and vehicles we can expect. So I will be skipping over most of the non-Battlefront parts in this video, which includes the stuff on the planet Jeddah, but I will link a few other analysis videos in the description below. First off, just my general thoughts on the trailer. I honestly thought it was better than the first one, and this one got me a lot more pumped for the movie than the first one did. I'm not sure why, but it was something about the style of the trailer and so on. Some scenes, such as the Death Star eclipse, were so epic, and of course we have Vader at the end. But what kind of information does the trailer actually give us in regards to the last DLC for Star Wars Battlefront? The first thing that caught my attention was Base Malbus Blaster. This looks to me like a brand new blaster in the Star Wars universe, and as you know, new blasters are always added to the Battlefront DLCs, and this may be a good candidate for that. It seems to have a very high fire rate and power, and it does look like a huge blaster in general, which usually means that it's more effective. We can also see the Death Trooper's new blaster, which I think I talked about after the first Rogue One trailer, and those are definitely a good candidate for new blasters as well. And while we're talking about Death Troopers, I think it's almost a given that we will see them as Imperial customization in the Rogue One DLC, probably at level 90 if the Death Star DLC increases the level cap to 80. We could also be getting the Short Troopers, or if we're lucky we'll get both. Another new weapon that we get a good glimpse of is Jyn's blaster pistol, which looks quite cool with its metallic barrel. This is a weapon that I can almost guarantee will be in the game, simply because Jyn is one of the 2 heroes being added, and it wouldn't make sense to not add her blaster. I also want to show this scene, which is actually from the Star Wars Celebration reel, where we both get a better glimpse of Jyn's blaster pistol, but we also get to see this blaster, which looks like a beefed up version of the A280C. So that is another blaster that I think we might see in the game, because we've already received upgraded versions of other blasters, such as the EE4 to the EE3 and so on. We do also see the Stormtroopers using the classic blasters, such as the E11 and the T21, both of which are already in the game. If we move on to other weapons, we get to see Base shooting down the AT-ACT with a rocket launcher. This launcher doesn't look exactly like the Smart Rocket, but it probably serves the same purpose, so I'm not entirely sure if we'll get it in the game or not, but if they want to add more power-ups, it could be an option for that. Now, if we move on to what I'm very excited to see, we have the new vehicles. The first one that is the most obvious one is the AT-ACT, which is basically a bigger version of the AT-AT with some more room for cargo. And this can be seen on Scarif, so playing Walker Assault or a game mode similar to Walker Assault with the AT-ACTs is something that I really hope and think we will see in the Rogue One DLC. I've got a feeling that they might create a new game mode to fit the story a bit better, and we won't just get the standard Walker Assault that is in the base game. The next vehicle we get to see is the U-Wing. This is a new vehicle shown in the Rogue One trailers, and it's both a transport and gunship, so it would definitely fit in Star Wars Battlefront, both on the ground maps and in Fighter Squadron. However, the vehicle I'm most excited to hopefully see in Battlefront are these new tanks. I'm not sure about the name of them, but if there's one thing I think Battlefront lacks, it's definitely more ground vehicles. Ideally the Rebels would get more ground vehicles, but I don't think they have any in Rogue One. So if they add these tanks, it would probably only be for the Empire, and they would possibly replace the AT-STs on Scarif. In terms of Scarif, we don't really get any new details, except for more beautiful views of the landscape with the palm trees, water and so on. The only thing I did take note of was this platform that we can see Jyn on. I think it looks like it's on Scarif, and that could be a good hint for one of the maps we will get in a DLC, because we're obviously not going to get 4 identical maps down at the beach, so getting something like a tower or whatever this is would be a nice change with some vertical gameplay. Lastly, there's one thing I think would be so freaking epic. What if the Death Star was above Scarif in the game and sometimes would cause an eclipse, making the whole map turn dark? That would have been one of the coolest environmental gameplay mechanics ever. But that brings my analysis / speculation for this trailer to an end. If you spotted anything else that you think could be added to the Scarif DLC, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more Battlefront and Star Wars content. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.